just for a change, we're doing this on a Wednesday night. Welcome to the UK Thrashers radio show. This is Series 2, Episode 21. Let's kick things off with Temper Shot. That was Certified Dangerous by Temper Shot. Okay, the reason we're disturbing your Wednesday night's viewing is because when we were looking for bands to interview last week, we got approached by a young band from Manchester who are not our normal sort of music, but we thought we'd catch up and have a chat with them and give them a little bit of exposure and listen to something new. So here's the Jungle Boys, and yeah, we had about a half an hour chat with them. Here we go. Okay, next in the virtual studio, we'd like to welcome Manchester-based Jungle Boys. Welcome to the show, guys.
Oh.
So do you guys want to quickly introduce yourselves? You're a three-piece anyway, aren't you?
We're a four-piece. We're missing a drummer. So I'm Danny, the guitarist.
I'm Felix. I'm the lead singer.
I'm Josh, and I'm unfortunately the bassist.
The unfortunate bassist. So do you want to, bearing in mind that this is usually a thrash podcast, do you guys want to explain your sound and what it is you do as a band?
Yeah, sure. We're technically a punk, hardcore, post-punk band, but in the Manchester punk and metal scene, we've got a big crossover with the thrash audience and the metal audience in Manchester, because we generally have quite aggressive live performances. That's what we kind of got a name for ourselves in Manchester for. Yeah. And Josh, who is the bassist, has the signature look of a metal bassist, a metal fan, and he has amazing hair, which I think also attracts
the resident metalhead.
Yeah, he makes up for the hair that I'm lacking.
Yeah.
So describe the sound. You said kind of post punk. What are the influences that kind of pull you guys together?
Yeah. Well, we're big fans of, like, at least me and Alfie, who's the drummer, who's not here at the moment. We're big fans of. At the moment, we're liking Idols a lot. We're also liking an American hardcore band called Show Me the Body, but we also take a lot of influence from hardcore from the 70s and 80s. We saw Minor Threat, Dead Kennedys. But then again, we've also got Josh as our bassist, so we take influence from, he can talk. What's Josh's influences?
Me, Jungle Box, instead of thrash, I usually end up going for the more grindcore kind of thing with like Napalm Death, Brutal Truth, even a little bit of Anal Cunt, even though it's a bit politically odd, but the more noisecore, grindcore kind of thing, just because it's that element of my metal and then the punk from the punk as well. It's kind of the mix with the the fast, aggressive riffs. And
so how did you guys get together with that kind of diverse taste? How did you all meet?
Well, we all went to the same college. I've known Alfie, the drummer, since I was a young teenager. And me and Alfie went to the same college, and we wanted to start a band. And we came across Danny, who we knew was a guitarist. And we tried a few rehearsals, just me, Alfie, Danny, for a while, and it was missing something, wasn't really working.
Yeah, missing something by the name of bass.
Yeah. And then we tried a couple of bassists, but Josh kind of filled that gap in our sound and image and performance. Yeah. And that's pretty much, we stumbled across him in the smoking areas of Zavarian, our college.
And we never looked back. That was that.
I think you put something on your story, and I was like, right, I'm gonna message you about it, and then you're like, yeah, sure. And we're now here. We've got the EP out, and we're now doing a lovely interview.
Yeah.
So so touching on that, the EP came out this week.
Yesterday.
It came out yesterday. Early yesterday.
A midweek single launch, is that normal?
We're not normal.
Is anything normal? Yeah. It's like we were thinking about it, and we wanted to do it sometime near Halloween, but I was kind of thinking that if we released it on Halloween, people would be too distracted by Halloween. So we went just before Halloween, and since there's no gigs or any opportunity to celebrate really, especially in Manchester at the moment, it doesn't make much difference it being on a Wednesday. People get fucked up on a Wednesday.
It's Manchester.
Yeah.
Fucked up every day.
Pretty much.
The songs on the EP, is it? Are they kind of all of a similar time? Have they all been kind of recorded together, or are they kind of throughout a bit more of the duration of the band?
Yes, they were all recorded together at the same place.
But we, they were all recorded together. 2 of the songs were re-recorded because 2 of them were our like demos that we released last Christmas. Yeah, and we re-recorded them at this studio recently, in like 3 months ago. But they were all written. They were pretty much all of the songs on the EP were the first songs we wrote around about. And we wrote them about a year ago. Yeah, a little over a year ago.
So, the songs on the EP, like Felix said, they are proper early ones, the ones we started off playing. Of course, we made like little tweaks to them, added little bits to fill out here and there, but at the end of the day, those are the ones we wrote right at the start. So it's nice to get them recorded.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find that, because I had a quick listen through when Josh sent the link through earlier on, it's, obviously they're quite diverse in a way. Some is, I even, when I first heard it, it kind of sounded a little bit Britpoppy in places. There was a bit of a bit of a Park Life type of vibe going on a bit, and and then obviously some of the later tracks on the list are a bit, there's a bit more harder straight edge punk, and then there's a bit of more metally sound in it. Do you find that quite nice that you can draw from all the members and kind of you can ebb and flow a little bit depending on the song? It gives you a bit more flexibility. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, we've always struggled to kind of define what genre we're in. So we always just kind of say post-punk. It's quite an umbrella term. But like we've all, like, the songs that we haven't recorded as well, like they all have their own kind of personality, which makes it a lot more fun to perform, especially.
Does it give you a more diverse crowd as well? Do you get the?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we've got a pretty diverse crowd, I would say.
Yeah, it's like, it's got people from all walks of life coming. Anyone who wants to party, really, that's it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's here for a good time and a loud time.
So have you been out? Have you been gigging quite extensively? Do you, obviously not at the moment because the world's gone to shit, but were you managing to get around the Greater Manchester area and play plenty of shows?
Oh yeah, definitely. We that was our prime, our gigging time. We got around to you name it, we're there. Yeah, we did a lot of gigs around Manchester. A lot of good venues, a lot of met a lot of cool bands that we now listen to. Yeah, we gigged everywhere. A lot of places in Manchester. They were all great.
Yeah, it was pretty much every small venue that would take us.
Yeah.
We tried to play at, and it was like for probably the months from about September to January last year. We were just gigging every other week, at least twice a month usually. And we were doing the cheapest shows that we could, and getting as much people there as possible, just because we enjoyed it so much. We miss that a lot.
Lots
emphasis on that a lot.
Yeah.
So what about other bands you were playing with? You said because of that diversity you've got in your music, does that allow you to kind of support or be support to a bit, quite a wide mix of bands?
Yeah,
we did support a very wide mix of, but I feel like we were usually the most hardcore, if you will, on the set list for most nights. But yeah, we supported a very wide range of bands. We performed with Martin's Broken Neck quite a lot. They're kind of a punky sort of. They've got a cool vibe, indie punk.
We did have like a few one-offs, like metal nights and stuff.
Oh, yeah, we did do a metal gig. That was fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've done gigs with quite a lot of of a few metal bands, bands like Mad Spanner, Severin. There's a couple of others on as well. But it was a lot of fun.
And we were looking towards doing more metal gigs, weren't we? We just got a bit interrupted.
Yeah.
But yeah, we also, like, it was the bills that we got put on the most were probably indie, post-punk. But then we'd also do some nights where we'd have rappers on, and we did a couple of those nights where it was mainly rappers with a punk break. But yeah, we had lots of different stuff going on.
That's cool. So what's the scene like? Obviously, I know the metal scene through the 161 community is pretty big up there. But what about wider music? Are you one of hundreds of bands that are kind of trying to hit Manchester at the moment? It seems to be pretty vibrant.
Yeah, we definitely are.
It's quite closely knit, so everyone knows each other usually. But there's so many different types of bands, and like just this kind of area that we were in, everyone knew each other, everyone was involved. But then just on the other side of Manchester, there's completely something different happening at the same time, and it's kind of like there's a lot of stuff. Whatever you want, it's there with music in Manchester anyway.
Yeah, you could pretty much put a gig on with almost anyone you wanted, really, because a venue that will let you hire it out, and you pick bands, people you've not heard of, or it might even be your mate's band, but you put together a lineup and you put on a night, and everyone's having a good time.
Is that because of it's kind of quite a big student town and stuff like that as well, or is it just it feels like Manchester music scene's always been strong, but it seems to be stronger there than nearly anywhere else in the country at the moment.
Yeah, it was a lot of the people that would come to our gigs were from Manchester Uni, Man Met or whatever. So the students definitely were a massive part of it. And there's always students making bands. But you're like anyone that's grown up in Manchester is involved with music. It's kind of in the roots of the city. So it's everyone involved with Manchester would be there. It's great.
So the EP that came out, that's obviously your first proper release, and it's kind of available on Spotify and all that sort of stuff. Where do you take it from that? It sounds like they're fairly old songs. So have you got an album in the making, or is what are you going to do next?
We've like I said before, that those are our first songs, and you're right in saying we do have a lot more songs. We've always got stuff in the making. We're always riff-raffing with different riffs, making stuff up. That never changes. But I think we would have to decide. We've got quite a wide arrangement of songs. We have to decide what how can we change specific songs? What songs go better together? What stuff should we write? Should we write more metal-y stuff? Should we write more punky stuff? But we are looking to record some more stuff in the future if we get a bit more money.
Always the problem.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a few songs that are wanted by fans for singles and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I know, speaking for myself, I definitely want to write more music.
Yeah.
In the future, and release our songs that we have now too.
Yeah.
So yeah, in the short answer.
Does that go back to that kind of that issue, because you are quite diverse? Does it sometimes feel like it feels like you've got two different bands? If you put certain songs next to each other, they sound so different that it kind of, they sit a little bit awkwardly. Is that why you need to kind of focus a little bit on the tracks, or do singles work better for you in that way?
Yeah, I mean, go on, Danny. Sorry.
I was going to say, I think that's a good thing. I think the diversity thing with Josh being a metalhead, Felix being a massive punk head, me being into you name it. There's such a diverse, so when we usually come to each other with different things, they're very different, and that's a great thing. We mix and match. You name it. It's mixed and matched into Jungle Boys tracks, and I think with the deciding which songs to go in specific albums, I think that shouldn't be too hard. Once we smash all our ideas into songs, and I think the album, the EP we put out now, that's quite those songs are quite specific. Those are the first things we kind of followed a fairly specific writing style, if you will. Even though we didn't, they ended up all sounding fairly, not similar as in the music was similar, but a similar sort of genre. And we have other songs that don't really fit in with that. So say, for example, if you listen to Icarus, it's pretty hard. You know, it goes, it's filthy. That's how I would describe it. And if you listen to some of our other songs, they're not like that. So if you listen to, I'm trying to think, we have even more upbeat songs that are less airy, songs that are more poppy, punky than super hardcore, grungy punk. And another one of ours that people quite like is Calpol. That's it's very simple. It's nice. It's quite light. It's still quite punky, but it's not. It doesn't hit that same hardcore grungy style as something like Icarus or Forest would.
And then there's like fucking shit, which is pretty much noisecore almost, which is pretty much the whole
napalm. I mean, I think what we had in mind for organizing an EP and organizing future recordings, we thought about, I'd say the ones that are on this EP are probably our most serious songs. Even though they still have a bit of tongue-in-cheek nature to them. We've got quite a few other songs which have a lot of jokes or aren't quite as, serious, that we want to save for something else, for something a bit more lighthearted. So we do think about what vibe we want to give off, but I think we do need to kind of beef up our discography before we are able to release another project, because it would be a bit all over the place.
So taking things outside of Manchester, what about the wider UK scene? What sort of other bands are you kind of listening to, and is there anyone you think, I'd fucking love to go on tour with them around the UK, or things like that?
Riptide. Riptide.
Yeah. I mean, there's a few bands coming out of Bristol at the moment which are amazing. That me and Alfie are fans of. Like, there's Heavy Lungs and Crows, and there's kind of like that dark grunge post-punk. But there's also like there's metal bands like that Josh fan, like Riptide, for example.
Big Riptide fan.
Yeah. And I mean, like we haven't been able to branch out of Manchester, unfortunately, much of with gigging. We've never gigged outside of Manchester. I've just moved to London to study, so I'm hoping when this is all over, I can get us some gigs in London, which would be great.
And I think the thing is now that we've got our music out there, and hopefully it's circling around different areas. It's not just live now. It's not just in Manchester. For all we know, different people in America could be listening to it. So I think now that we look at the stats of who's listening to it, we could find out, oh look, there's a load of people listening to our music in Leeds. Let's go and do a gig in Leeds. It could work.
Yeah.
But before
village in Norway.
Yeah. Maybe a bit pricey.
Yeah. I was going to say, you better start saving up for Norway. That's an expensive weekend away. You need a mortgage to buy for a fucking pint. So that I guess is important, as you can start kind of getting on slots, and and a lot of guys from Manchester end up going north of the border and going up to Scotland to play. And as you say, Leeds has got with Boom has got a really good scene, and yourself, whereabouts in London are you?
I'm in Shoreditch at the moment, so it's like right central. Fucking music.
Hipster trendy area.
Hipster central. Yeah.
you need to grow yourself a nice beard to go, with the shaved head. Yeah.
I'll finish some craft beer, Felix.
Yeah. So and of course, being down there, you've got plenty of options for. Although as the vocalist, you're the one who has to carry least kit around, so they'll be trumping drum kits down from Manchester.
Yeah. Would love to do more gigs, especially you said I'd love to go do gigs in Scotland. That would be amazing.
What about other things, Any chance of doing festivals or any of those sorts of things?
That's a good question. We would love to do festivals. We actually signed up to a lot of festivals. I think a couple of them got back to us. We were planning on doing festivals, but of course there are no festivals. So the answer to that is yes, we would absolutely love to do festivals. what could be better than playing your music and getting into a festival for free? But they're not on, so we haven't done them, but we would definitely look to do them in the future.
Yeah.
When they are on, if they ever come back.
I'm kind of in the admin process of applying to some. I forgot to tell you guys this, but
Oh.
but
on air admin.
Yeah, of getting some applications ready for festivals for next summer if that ever happens. So yeah, we'd love to do festivals.
See, look, he knows how much we would love to do it. He didn't even ask us before he signed us up for it.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to ask you to sign you up. So what about in the meantime? Obviously, live shows is the bread and butter for bands, and that's the way of getting yourselves out there. Have you? I saw the video for kind of the first single and things like that. Is that a way to keep things ticking over? Are you going to do more videos? Obviously, now you're in 2 different locations. I guess live streams becomes a little bit harder because you can't do it from your rehearsal rooms. What's the plan? And what's the plan on kind of keeping the band ticking over during the apocalypse?
Well, we do actually have a kind of video in the process. We're just kind of muddling through that at the moment. But I don't have enough information to talk about it, I think, yet. But there is a possibility of another video for one of the songs on the EP at the moment. But other than that, I think we aren't planning on doing live stream gigs. But we are thinking about, hopefully, if this all dies down, doing some more gigs in spring. And maybe just taking a little bit of a hiatus and focusing on getting this EP promoted as much as we can for now. And
doing some study.
And yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Any shout outs you want to give? Any thanks? Any other kind of things that have happened with the band that you want to let us know about? Or of course,
thanks to Alfie. He's not here, but thank you, Alfie, for drumming.
I think if we could give a shout out to Ed and Catherine and Mouse Agency for directing and helping us edit. Well, they did all the editing, and we didn't help at all. For the music video, they're amazing, and you should check them out. Big shout out to the Manchester music scene, and without the Manchester music scene, we wouldn't be getting any promotion on our EP right now because we don't have any money. I'm just being amazing at the moment. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah,
Pear Hat for putting up with all our antics.
Oh fuck yeah, the Pear Hat, which is the only venue that we like that lets us back.
Yeah.
Do you want to pimp out the band itself? Where can we find where can we listen to the EP? Where can we find you guys online, all your social media links and all that sort of stuff? Yeah.
We're available on all platforms. Well, we should be, hopefully.
Yeah.
If not, there's a problem. We're Jungle Boys on everything. On Instagram, it's Jungle Boys Band. Probably the same for Facebook, Jungle Boys Band. And yeah, on YouTube, just Jungle Boys. Forest is the music video. Yeah, I think that's it.
Check us out.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Give us a listen. Have one man pit in your room during the apocalypse.
Brilliant, guys. Thanks for taking a bit of time out this afternoon to speak to us. I hope it all goes well, and hopefully I can bump into you in Manchester. We'll probably be at a Riptide gig, but if not, I'll get to see you. I'll see you live at some point in the near future.
Thank you very much.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, so that was the Jungle Boys. Here's a track from their first EP, Bard. This is Broken City. was the Jungle Boys. That was from their EP Bard, and it's called Broken City. Next up, our mates Scarred by Truth. This is Scarred. And there you go. That's 35 minutes of something different. Hope you enjoyed it. Back on Friday with a normal thrash build episode. See you then.